This is the Red All Over preview show for Barnsley versus Wigan Athletic this weekend at Oakwell. First Saturday 3 o'clock game in a very, very long time. I see you
It'll
shaking.
not last. It'll
Yeah,
not last.
it's probably his one and only one this side of Christmas. So yeah, we're going to preview Wigan this weekend and let's get stuck into it. Every time I do this, I just play theme tune in my head and then just guess
What
it.
for match of the
They're like, yeah, about 5 seconds. Great. So, Andy, Wigan at home. One of those games, I think, at the start of the season, I think I had Wigan in top six. To be honest, because last season, despite the points deduction, if they'd have had the points, it would have been in around the playoff picture. I don't think they would have made it, but there's certainly been somewhat of a factor within it. So, a little bit weird to see him have such a drop off as well. When you sort of look at the summer signings made as well, Hugo from Man United on loan, looked like a decent loan signing to start with, and you go for their team, Toby Sibic in there, Carragher at centre half as well, Sam Tickle in goal. It's a fairly strong side, but just not sort of got anything going so far this season.
No, my favourite goalkeeper, Sam Tickle. I thought he was outstanding at Oakwell last season. Absolutely outstanding. Saved everything. He got arms, just like Tickle on Mr. Tickle. Arms everywhere. He saved everything. And yeah, a return for Toby Sibic. That would be nice. I'll clap him. It's been nice to see Toby Sibic. I'm surprised we let him go. I don't think we should have let him go, but strange things happen in football sometimes. You don't know the full stories. So be good to welcome him back. Wigan are not that dissimilar side to us, aren't they? A northern town. They had under Dave Whelan, they had a lot of success. Not particularly big crowds, but a lot of success that was obviously then, all the way up to the Premier League, and it's all changed again and what have you. And of course, there were all that antagonism between us when we were under Paul Conway, and then who was going to get relegated, points deductions, and all that. I hope that is on. I think enough of that. I think no more to play than blaming us, but let's hope we can all put it to one side and not get involved in daftness. It's two northern football clubs of similar sizes, so I think just let it go and let's just enjoy the game. It will be interesting, I think, because unless I've read the stats wrong, I had a quick look at stats before we came on. The first time we played them were in 1954, it's tragic. Tragically, it's the year of my birth. I know I look a lot younger, but that's the year of my birth. And they've beaten us 6 times. We've beaten them 6 times, and we've drawn 7. That's in league and cup matches and what have you. But what I did notice, which is quite amazing, really, is that in the league we've never ever beaten them at Oakwell. Now, I don't believe in omens, and all that, because I don't think the same side that we'll be playing or the side that they'll be playing this coming Saturday at 3 o'clock, funnily enough, will be anything like the sides that played all them years ago. So hopefully we can put that hoodoo to rest and actually beat them. But we thought we were going to beat Cambridge. The predictions for Cambridge were 2 for a Cambridge win, everybody else for a Barnsley win, and so nobody got the score or result right at all with the 1-1 draw. So hopefully we'll put it right, because they're not having a great time of it lately. If you just take the league, they've lost 3 out of the last 4. They've lost at home to Wigan, to Wickham, which is no great surprise because Wickham were playing particularly well. Drawn with Blackpool, near rivals, if you like. Lost to Mansfield at home, and then lost away to Cambridge just before that, 2-0. So they're not having a great time. But as you said, they've got some decent players in there. Joe Hugel, I expected more of them. I think he's one that our fans thought might be a good thing for us. So a long way to go. Away from home, they played 7. They've won 1 in the league. So drawn 3 though, and lost 3. But they've only scored 12 goals in 14 games in total, but only conceded 12 goals in 14 league games. So they've got a goal difference of 0, but they're not high scoring at that rate, either for or against them. So it's going to be it's going to be a time when we're going to have our shooting boots on, unlike we had against Cambridge. So I'm looking forward to 3 o'clock kickoff and all. That'll be good. Might be light when I get there. So,
Let's not get too ahead of
oh,
ourselves given the weather this week so far.
oh, it could happen, couldn't it? It's
Exactly.
so only a Tuesday. Oh, it could happen between now and Saturday.
Exactly. I'm just going to pull up the stat sheet first. So, Wigan manager Sean Maloney, top goal scorer Theo Asgard with 3, sat 19th in the league, 2 draws, 3 losses in the last 5. Key player Sam Tickle in goal. Formation 4-2-3-1 or 4-1-4-1. And as Andy's mentioned there, key stat Wigan second lowest scorers in the league so far with 12, and only Stevenage have scored less. Which on that, we also managed to concede 3 against Stevenage. So we are quite generous when we come up against these sides that seem to be struggling. And sort of when you look at Wigan scoring 12 so far in the league, I think they got 3 against Peterborough when they turned Peterborough over 3-0. So it seems like their goals do come in sort of in one game, and it's not sort of a 1-0 win here or like a 1-1 draw sort of thing. It seems like they come in little small chunks.
It is. Sean Maloney took over last January, didn't he? And this season, I don't think it's gone right for him whatsoever in the league. They've only won 3, drawn 5, lost 6. As Andy says, they've not conceded many and they've not scored a lot, have they? So at that 0 goal difference, they're not going to give much away, are they? So they seem like that to be tight. It's going to be an interesting game, and is Darrell Clark going to fetch Luca back, captain back? And then Nwakali, what's going to happen there? Does he come in? He's got a dilemma after Saturday's game, hasn't he? Does he drop Russell and put Nwakali in? I don't think so, because Russell's a different player. So I'm assuming Nkali's going to be back on bench and Luca's going to come back in. And that's the only change I think we'll make for 3 o'clock kickoff.
3 o'clock, you say, Al?
At 3 o'clock, yes, 3 o'clock.
We've not made much of this so far, have we?
Hold on, let me have a think. Have I got to set alarm for 3 o'clock? It's not 12:30. It's not 7 o'clock. It's not 8 o'clock. 1:15. You know what I mean? Who knows? At least we've got a 7:45 as well on Tuesday. So we're back to normal so far, with a week of normality until it all changes again. So yeah, there should be a good crowd on Saturday, not a normal time. So looking forward to it, and hopefully we can have another result as we did when we played Rotherham.
So it's certainly nice to sort of build on that momentum we've started to gather at home as well. Craig, as Al mentioned there, a little bit of a selection dilemma for Darrell Clark. Obviously, don't know. Obviously, it's Tuesday, so we don't know the extent of what his injury so far, if it'll keep him out for too long. So again, there could be another potential change in there. Should Luca come back in, it does sort of free up the opportunity for Nwakali. I think Al's called 3 different names so far between the 2 shows that we've had, which has been nice. What would you do if you were Darrell Clark? Would you bring Nwakali in? Would you bring Luca back in? Would you swap Russell out? Because I think Al makes a good point there. Probably are a little bit different players as Russell and Nwakali. We've tried to do it previously of 2 players that prefer to sort of hold and sit, of Craig and Luca. It didn't really work too well, and we looked very disjointed.
Well, first thing I wouldn't do is change formation. We've got to keep the 3 men in midfield. With Nwakali and Connell, I think that there's a possibility here of seeing Connell go forward again with Phillips and Nwakali sitting, because from what I saw, he can do Luca's job just as good as Luca can do it. And I think Connell can do a lot in the final third of the pitch as well, further up. So for me, it's an headache. It's what he's seen in training. Is he ready to be starting games? Has he got 2 matches a week in him? Because one thing you need is a consistent lineup that's going to be sticking together and learning relationships with players. And obviously, we had that with Ghent, who were coming in and out, didn't look great. He's had a consistent run of weeks, and now he looks brilliant with DKD on that left-hand side. So yeah, it's an headache, but it's all about what he feels and what he sees in training. Personally, I think against a team like Wigan, I think it might be too early for him to be starting. I think he needs a few more sub appearances before he starts knocking on that door. But we'll see. Wigan are a good team and they've done well. Well, they've done well at not conceding this season. But I've come up with a few stats. So the second least goals scored, the third least goals conceded in the league, the second lowest average age in the league, which is normally us, but it's not. I think we're like seventh or eighth, so we're doing brilliant.
Oh, we're old. We've got a team of old men then.
They've only scored
in consideration for that.
They've only scored in 6 of the 14 games that they've played in this season, and they haven't conceded in matches that they've won. So if we score, it's very likely that we'll get some Tatic game. And Sam Tickle is the third best goalkeeper with the best save percentage in the league with 77%, which is outrageous, really. I think. What?
Who's above him with that?
It's Exeter's goalkeeper,
okay.
Whitmer, whatever, and Wrexham's.
Arthur.
Yeah, that's it. I'm not saying his last name because I will butcher the hell out of that. But yeah, it's
no, don't tell.
It's going to be an interesting game, and I'm really looking forward to it because look, they've given us hammer for past 3 seasons. Their fans hating on our fans for something that's got no to do with us, out of our control, and it'd be nice to give him a pasting. And I think possibly Sean Maloney's number might be up if he doesn't start getting goals in his squad, because that's where they're struggling. They're not struggling at the back. The goalkeeper's one of the best in leagues. The defence is not really conceding much, but their attack just can't seem to get goals.
It's a weird one as well when you sort of look at the quality that they have got in that front line, even though just a decent return with that defence behind them, and they should be doing a little bit better. Get your thoughts down in the comments below in terms of the selection that Darrell Clarke's got there. Would you bring Nwakali in? Would you push Luke Connell further up and drop Johnny Russell, even though it feels a little bit harsh given his run of form? It is a bit of a selection headache for Darrell Clarke.
Good headache, though. Good headache to have.
It certainly is. It's a headache that we didn't think we'd have a month ago. And you could more or less pick the midfield into the starting 11 that you could rely on. Andy, we've mentioned him so far a lot during this, but I was reading earlier about Sam Tickle. I think the Wigan Observer had done sort of an evaluation of their squad, and he said that he's a goalkeeper that's playing almost below his level in League One, and sort of as Craig said there, 77% save percentage is he's stopping 3/4 shots that come towards him.
They've done very well to hang on to him, I think, because I can't believe that there aren't suitors coming and wanting him at a higher level, because he is a good goalkeeper among some decent goalkeepers in this, even in this division. But he's as Craig has said, third best, but that doesn't tell the whole stats. A class above, we've got to have our shooting boots on that were lacking last weekend. So we can't, like we did against Mansfield and like we did on Saturday, we need to get things on target and smack him in. He's not going to leave any space. He's not going to make it easy for us, and the defence aren't going to make it easy for us. So we're going to have to be on our mettle. To win, it's going to be good, because we've got to get it past him, and that's no easy feat, because he's that good a goalkeeper, and he showed it. Oh, he's shown it this season, but he certainly showed it last season when he saved everything, virtually everything that came anywhere near him. He saved it. So, we'll look to him, and I hope, there's no against Wigan or anybody. I hope he gets a good move, because he deserves to be higher up the football, higher up the football pyramid, really. So, but if I were a Wigan supporter, I wouldn't want him to be going, because he makes a big difference to their side. So,
yeah, it's almost like when Bolton had James Trafford that season.
Yeah,
it's one of them players that obviously he's a player, so it's one of those of you just want to stay around as long as possible, because his level's going to be above where you are at this moment in time. I'll speak, coming back to sort of our own not problems, but sort of selection headache again. Do you think, looking at Wigan and their lack of proficiency in front of goal so far this season. Do you think it is an opportunity to sort of put his own stamp on the game from the beginning and set out in a nice attacking mindset? Because we know that you look at the statistics and sort of the backup of that, it seems like Wigan are struggling to create opportunities this season. And again, from what I was reading from the Wigan Observer, it's not for a want of trying of Hugo up front and the forwards. It's a case of creating behind. A lot of it seems to be falling towards Asgard, and there's only so much one player can do in terms of doing that. So, given that they're having a bit of creativity issues, do you think it's one of the games where we can be a little bit more aggressive in the way in which we play and get a little bit further up the pitch?
I would hope we can do a Cambridge and get to them in first 5-6 minutes and get an early goal and put them on back foot. To be honest, we need to be not tickling the football and going to tickle. We need to put in his foot through it, and the headers what we had on Saturday as well. We've got to be more clinical with headers. You know, we had good chances second half. As we said, it could have been 5-6 if we'd have took them all. So I'm looking on Saturday for the team to be more clinical. And also for DKD to have a better game than what he did. I think he will do at Oakwell. So really excited that we can go out there and put a show on at Oakwell and go 1 or 2 goals better than what we did against Rotherham.
Under the snow as well, and freezing rain probably that we'll be facing on Saturday, which will be nice. Craig, do you think there's a little bit of pressure on this one? Because obviously Cambridge was a decent performance. I mean by pressure, I mean in terms of converting those chances, because it almost seemed like it's probably the first game we've had this season where we've not converted the chances. First portion of the season, we were sort of hanging in games and were rather clinical for the quality of chances we were creating. Whereas it felt like Cambridge was the first game where we'd not had that clinical edge to sort of force his way into a game or force his way in front when we needed to.
Yeah, because it's a rot that can get set real quick. Is not scoring, get a couple of doubts in a couple of players' minds, and that's it. The starting squandering chances, hitting it wide. We're not missing by much, so let's. I mean, DKD. I mean, he could have quite easily scored. Phillips had a good couple of chances. We're creating chances, and that for me is the real stat you need to look at. It's pointless. I mean, if you're looking and your team's only creating 2 chances a game, what chances are you going to score from them? But if you're creating like 10, you've got a much greater chance of scoring. Plus, we've got Humphries, who's going to have a statement to make against his old club. He's going to want to. I mean, they didn't renew his contract. They let him go, so he's going to be like, right, I'm going to show you. You should have, put my name back on another contract. So he's going to have a bee in his bonnet, And like I say, there's competition in the squad now, so no player can just decide to down tools for a week because they know that even Connell now can't relax because in Nwakali, I mean, he's going to be knocking on that door pretty soon. So I think we're going to be more than ready for this game, though. I think we're playing well. The lads seem to be happy. We're creating chances. Defense is looking a lot more solid now. Now they've had a few games, plenty of games together. The likes of Earl, DeJuvigny and Roberts. It's hard to say, but you've got Pines on bench there, and he can't seem to get in. So it's brilliant being able to have a squad of players that you can turn to. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to it. Like I said, 3:00 kickoff again. It's gonna be night. It's gonna be dark by the time I get back home, but you can't beat it.
Yeah. Tom, by the way, make sure you bring that light. That's reminding me of that instant reaction. Make sure you bring that light.
I might be wrong then, but I know that Stephen Humphries was their top scorer last season.
I think he was 11.
Yeah.
I thought he decided that he weren't going to re-sign for him.
I don't know.
It might be that they didn't offer, but I thought he decided that he wanted to move. He will, end of his contract. He was going to move on, but it could be wrong. They might not have offered it. They might have offered him one. He turned it down. They might have known that he weren't bothered. So they didn't
if they offer
it,
any player a decent amount of money, he's not going to turn it down, really, is he? So
it's come to the mighty Barnsley, though, hasn't he? Eventually,
he'll be on peanuts here, I bet.
Well,
Andy, do you reckon he'll celebrate if he scores?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. He strikes me exactly as that kind of player. That's what I want to see.
With Stephen Humphries, I reckon if he scores I'm going to say the Cop or whatever you want to call it now, Barry Murphy stand. If he scores that end, he'll be down on it and he's getting it, start saying, have it. That's what he'll be doing.
Yeah, but last season he celebrated in front of Bolton fans, and he started that eruption of all players just jumping on each other. You know, at the end of that game when he and Everett got in bother as well.
He
When he was
grow up,
celebrating in front
Everett.
of Bolton fans, and he didn't even play for them.
He used to grow up a bit, Everett. So he will. He's got some. He's got what we want, and he's got some housery about him. It's just what you want.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
The only person in a Barnsley shirt that's got more housery than him was Toby Tyke. Oh, when he goes down, Alan gives it some of that, or bears his bump at Manchester City supporters. You know, it's all good stuff. Or rugby tackles Huddersfield Town mascot. You know, it's all good stuff. So I could see. You know, I don't know. He might just might try and be Kangsfield there a few years. You know, so it might be decent and what have you.
He's going to knee slide. He's going to do the old arrow into fans. He's going to go for it.
I want to see him
to be honest, I don't care.
Pitch.
Yeah.
I don't care whether I don't care if he says have it or if he just acknowledges them kindly, because it means he's scored. I don't care what Harry does it. If he scores and scores winner, that'll do for me. Whatever he decides to do.
No, it would be nice, because as you said, it means we'd have scored, and given that the stats of that when they've conceded, they've lost. It'd definitely be.
It's when they've scored. When they've not conceded, they've won.
Yes.
Yeah.
I get you. Al, do you think Daryl Clark might have a little bit of Tuesday on his mind as well, or is it a case of? I know we normally say this it's a case of playing what's in front of you first, but it's not really too much of an issue now necessarily, because we know we've got Nwakali who can come in for Luca if Luca maybe needs a rest on Tuesday or picks up a knock, etc. And there's sort of a lot more. You look at that bench now and you feel a little bit more settled and a little bit more happy that there's players that can come on and be more like for like, and it's not a case of you weakening just to save people's legs with an eye on Tuesday, for example.
I think Nwakali will be on bench for Tuesday as well. Personally, he'll start against Bristol Rovers in FA Cup. That's my assumption. Whether I'm proved right, we'll have to wait and see.
That means Nwakali starting Saturday and Tuesday, and then on bench for Bristol Rovers.
Oh,
because you've said that means he'll complete opposite.
Look,
you told me Liam Kitchen was staying, and then he went a week later. Not to bring it up again.
When are you going to stop holding that against him?
You won't let that lie.
No.
Every time he has opinion on anything, you're like, right, I don't believe that now because you said that back then.
Don't take it, Al, don't take it. You'll be right, Al.
Liam Kitchen retired, and I'll still be saying it.
I hope you need to apologise to him, Josh. If Kelechi, I'm not going to do what Alan does. If KN is subbed twice and then starts against Bristol Rovers, you'll be vindicated, Al. And I'll tell you what, Al, you've known more than you've forgotten more than what Josh has ever known about Barnsley Football Club. You've forgotten it, mate. So don't let him wind you up, Al.
No, I don't think he's going to start. But no, he's not got to worry about Tuesday night, has he? He's got to concentrate on Saturday, and he's got to get the right team, the right formation, and he's got to get the right result. It's as simple as that, to keep momentum going and keep us up there and pushing for either automatic or top six. I'd like to think, hopefully, if we get sorted in January and get players in, we can push for the top two.
You just feel like there's a little bit of a momentum building at the minute. I think you could see that a little bit, Craig, as well, in terms of Daryl Clark's reaction to the Cambridge result. Whereas earlier on in the season, when we beat Lincoln 2-0, it was like, that's a 3 out of 10 performance. And like, you weren't happy. Whereas you sort of look at Saturday, we've not got the result we wanted, but he sort of come out and protected players of another day. We win that, and he's got no problem with the performance. And it just were one of those days.
I think I've agreed with the majority of press conferences he's done. He seems quite honest person to me. I'm not going to get too far ahead of myself, though. I've done that in previous seasons and thought top 2, top 1, we'll win all the way, playoff fight. I'm taking each week as it comes. I'm taking each opponent as they come in under their own merit. And I'm, like I say, I'll start looking at table February, March. It's the same thing I said to me. I said, don't start looking now until after Christmas. No point, because it's 3 points. either way, you could be either getting relegated or getting promoted. So, it's you're 3 good wins or 3 good losses away from either end of the table. So, but like I say, there's a good feeling around the club, around the fans. When you're looking at what the club are posting, players always seem happy to be around each other. I think there's a good general consensus of a good mixture of ages and people who've known each other from previous clubs, and and obviously having players that have been here come back as well, and the coach. I don't know. It just seems to be a really good vibe at the minute, and I'm just hoping it continues because while ever that is happening, we seem to play a lot better. It's as soon as fans start getting on players' backs, that's when we start losing again. So, it's going well, and it's about time. It's really.
You reminded me then of Ron, when he used to sit in West End, he'd be telling me results in September and telling us where that puts us, and I'm like, there's 38 games left. It doesn't really matter where we are.
Ron, go on, Ron.
No, he just reminded me of wrong. He'd be telling me exactly where we are. We after 6 games, I'm like, right, not bothered. Where are we after 46? We'll see. Andy, prediction. What do you reckon then to Saturday at 3:00? If we haven't mentioned it so far.
Still be dark when we finish.
There's no legs in that left, honestly.
If we are, in fact, as we think we are, if we're doing an instant reaction, it'll still be freezing cold, probably chucking it down with rain and in dark. So that won't change at all, will it? In that respect. So I don't know. I'm loath to say that they won't score. My first thought though it might be 1-0 or something like that because Sam Tickle saved them, and I'm going 1-0. Barnsley 1-0.
Oh, not the trusty 2-1. That reminds me, is this the last game of the prediction league, or when is the last game?
The last one is the. If I get this right, I think the last one's the Birmingham game. No, the Bristol Rovers game. There's 3 left.
3 left.
This first lot. The Bristol Rovers game. After that, so there's this one, Reading, and then Bristol Rovers. You're still up there, Josh.
No, sorry,
I keep putting this thing on the shows. I didn't have anything. I didn't have to change the league table at all after last weekend because nobody said a draw. Nobody. So no, it's changed. So he's still there. He's still second.
At least spent all that time inputting results.
Oh, I don't input. I've stopped inputting them if they're wrong. If it's the right score or right result, I input them. I was doing everything last year, and it was too much. So I just input them if they're right. One way or other. Draw or win or whatever.
I might start bleeping mine so Chris Mann don't know what I've gone for.
He changed it. He didn't put same as you though.
Good to see.
It was different.
Wants to pull away.
So.
I respect it.
Nari knows there's only 3 left. He might. But there's other people. If he tries to negate you going above him, somebody else will do him because there's others just below you, but both of you.
Safety in numbers.
Look over your shoulders, both of you.
Safety in numbers.
We're coming for you.
Al, what do you reckon to Saturday?
3-0.
3-0.
Right.
To us, I'm assuming.
3-0. 3:00 kickoff. 3-0.
3:00 kickoff. We've got it in again.
Adam Phillips hat trick then, Al. Either that or Sam Cosgrove's going to come on and score 9.
Cosgrove off bench. There is Cosy fit.
I hope he does. I hope Max Watters gets fit because there weren't much, I didn't think, last Saturday that we could change when Max come off up front to try and make that difference, apart from, as Craig had said last weekend, Jallo. So I hope Max gets fit and Sam gets fit because it gives us other options.
And Jallo got a brace this afternoon for under 21s at Coventry in a 2 draw.
Good lad.
Now waiting for you to get it in there now. It was teed up perfectly.
Lead him up. Lead him into it.
Lovely bit of podcasting there from you two. Craig, what do you reckon then?
I've been thinking a draw all week, but having talked just now, I think we're going to edge it. I'm going to go 2-1. I think we're going to win 2-1.
An Andy special for Craig. Well, I never thought I'd hear that.
You know what'll happen, don't you know? It'll be flipping 2-1. You know what'll happen.
I know when you mention it, Andy. Honestly, I'll not mention it.
The Last time I didn't predict 2-1. We won 2-1. I'm going for a psychological reason, Josh. Josh, at 1-0.
No, I like it. You're sacrificing your own points for
taking one.
the greater good. I respect it.
Absolutely.
I respect it. I'm gonna go 2-0.
Could happen.
2-0. I'm just saying that we are quite generous against sides that are normally scored anyway, so it could quite easily be 4-1 to Wigan.
Can I just mention a charity event, what's going off on Friday? For Little Louis Pace, a Warrior's Tale, there's a fundraising event going on at Easting Working Men's Club. Live music from Ultraphonics, prizes raffle. It's a free entry, 7 p.m. Dave Cooper's hosting, and co-informed there's some special guests coming, probably from the football club. So if anybody could, make the way there and make a good night, children are welcome. It should be a good night for young Louis. So yeah, he's a cracking little kid, Louis. I've seen him for a few away games, and he's doing really well, bless him.
Right. We'll be back hopefully on the Saturday evening with an instant reaction show outside the ground. The first time in about, 2 months that we'd have probably had the opportunity to do one as well.
Yeah.
So we'll be back with instant reaction and also Reading preview, just because there's not that much time between the two. So that will be a bumper episode of an instant reaction and also a preview. That will be out Saturday night, Sunday morning, potentially, depending on how quick Tom can turn it around. No pressure, Tom, but Saturday will be preferable. Not to put too much pressure on you when we want it out.
It's not instant if it's Sunday, is it?
Yeah, exactly. Might as well just call it delayed at that point. Yes.
Just make sure you've got your hand warmers at your age, lad. Stood outside there. Get your hand warmers.
I will.
And you're at.
Oh, I'm at.
Keep your head warm. Right, we're back at the weekend with an instant reaction show and Reading preview. We'll see you there, you Reds.